Ladies and gentlemen, the Railroad Hour. And here comes our summer show train with your host, Gordon MacRae. The Association of American Railroads, the same railroads that bring you most of the food you eat, the clothes you wear, the fuel you burn, and all the other things you use in your daily life, brings you the Railroad Summer Show, starring Gordon MacRae, Lucille Norman, the sportsman, and the music of John Rarig and his orchestra. And here is your host, Gordon MacRae.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the Association of American Railroads pays tribute to a comparatively new team whose songs have been sweeping the country. To the distinguished lyricist, Mr. Mack Gordon, and to his own exciting discovery, a wonderful young composer, Mr. Joseph Myro, both of 20th Century Fox. Folks, you're about to hear music that you already know and like. We're fairly certain that you know it and like it because these are all songs that you, the people, have sung and whistled and applauded until you made them hits. They are all from Fox Pictures, and they are all by Mack Gordon and Joseph Myro. You probably already know about Mack Gordon, who is one of the country's most celebrated lyricists. But we wanted to tell you tonight the story of Gordon and Myro, and of the songs they have written together which have swept the nation. Songs that are fresh and delightful, and somehow have that magic combination of being both singable and memorable. For instance, here's a beautiful song. Every time I meet you for the first time, just as though we never had met before. Every time I kiss you for the first time, and my happy heart keeps begging you for more. Every time you thrill me for the first time. The moment is grand and the feeling is so brand new. Every time you leave me, won't you take this thought along with you? I've fallen in love for the first and the last time, too. Every time you leave me, won't you take this thought along with you? I've fallen in love for the first and the last time, too. The story you are now to hear might almost begin once upon a time. For only once upon a time do stories like this happen, even in this once upon a time town of Hollywood. Mack Gordon had written Did You Ever See a Dream Walking and Stay as Sweet as You Are with Harry Ravel. He had written Time on My Hands with Vincent Youmans, I Can't Begin to Tell You with Jimmy Monaco, Mamselle with Edmund Goulding, You'll Never Know with Harry Warren. And now, after many years of writing songs with some of the most famous composers in the business, he was given a picture to produce at Fox, a musical called Three Little Girls in Blue. He had to choose a composer, and since this was the first production to go out under his name, he had to come up with a good one. He wanted Harry Warren, but Warren couldn't take the assignment and recommended one Joseph Myro. So Gordon phoned Myro.
Mr. Morrow, this is Mack Gordon at Fox.
Yes, Mr. Gordon.
Could you come out and see me tomorrow?
Why, yes. What time?
Well, make it around 11, and bring some music. I want to hear you play.
I'll be there.
Who's that, honey?
Well, that was Mack Gordon at Fox. I have an appointment with him tomorrow at 11.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I guess he's looking for a piano player. He said he wanted to hear me play.
Oh, would you take a job as a piano player?
I'll take any kind of a job to get into a studio.
You're a composer.
Yeah. You know that, and I know that. But right now, I need a chance to prove it.
So Joe Myro played for Mack Gordon. He played music that was new and modern and exciting. And Gordon sat there listening. At last, after about an hour, Joe stopped playing.
You've played some wonderful music, Mr. Morrow.
Thank you.
It's really fine, advanced, fresh, new.
Thank you.
But I'm not looking for music that's advanced and new.
I thought you were looking for a piano player.
No, I'm looking for a composer. But this is a period picture. I've got to have music that's old-fashioned, quaint, nostalgic.
I think I could be old-fashioned and quaint, Mr. Gordon.
Do you?
Would you give me a few days to try and prove it to you?
I'll give you a few days and a few lines. Now, here's the verse and the opening line of a song I want done called The Boardwalk at Atlantic City.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Thank you very much.
The very next day, Joe Myro was back in Mack Gordon's office. Back, the two of them went to the piano. Myro played the music he had written to go with Gordon's words.
Goodbye, little chicks. We are leaving the sticks. We are catching a train at 5:45. And if anyone should drop around, won't you please tell them that we can be found on the boardwalk at Atlantic City. Wait a minute. Play that part that goes into the chorus again. You're hired.
What did you say?
I said you're hired. Take off your coat and let's go to work.
So they went to work, and the result was a song you started singing the summer before last and have been singing ever since. Goodbye, little chicks, we are leaving the sticks. We are catching a train at 5:45. And if anyone should drop around, won't you please tell them that we can be found on the boardwalk in Atlantic City? We will walk in a dream on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Life will be peaches and cream. There where the saltwater air brings out a lady's charms. There on a rolling chair, he'll roll right into your arms. Cinderella, you will find your fella, someone that you've waited for, in romantic, enchanting Atlantic City, down on the old New Jersey shore. When it was announced that Mack Gordon had picked a newcomer to do the music for Three Little Girls in Blue, almost everyone thought he was crazy.
Mac, this is the first picture you've produced. You can't afford to take chances. You got to do everything you can to ensure success. You got to pick an established man so there won't be any element of risk. Hey, Mac, listen to me.
No, you listen to me. I've been working here at Fox 14 years. And I've been writing songs for a good many more years than that. And if I can't recognize talent by now, then I might as well quit.
Okay, Mac, it's your funeral.
Maybe, maybe not. This boy is great. I'll stake my reputation on him.
And Mack Gordon did stake his reputation on Joseph Myro. And when the people heard the music, most of them who had told Mack Gordon he was crazy to take a chance on a newcomer said,
Hey, did you hear those songs? That boy's great. I knew he couldn't miss.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was easy to say that once you had seen Vivian Blaine stand alone by a window and heard her wistfully sing this song.
Somewhere in the night, there must be someone for me. Somewhere in the night, who knows where somewhere may be. Across the way, or maybe way beyond the distant star. find who you are. Somewhere in a dream I find him here by my side. Then when I awake, my dream drifts out with the tide. My lonely heart keeps saying to me, no, this doesn't seem right. There must be someone somewhere in the night.
The songs from Three Little Girls in Blue swept the nation.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung, bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when
The tunes were catching, the lyrics delightful, the picture was a hit. And well might Mack Gordon and Joseph Miro sing with the rest of the country their own gay song from Three Little Girls in Blue. 'Cause you make me feel so young. We'll be back in just a moment to bring you more of the wonderful songs of Mack Gordon and Joseph Miro and the story of how they came to be written. But first, a message from the railroads.
Most of us make some sort of purchase nearly every day. Whether we realize it or not, these purchases play an important part in what we call the American way of life. For this combination of purchases, large and small, throughout the nation, is an essential part of the high level of production and consumption which benefits us all. As long as people are able to buy things, as long as industry and agriculture are kept busy, we in America will be assured of an abundance of the necessities and luxuries of life. Our railroads are one of the largest purchasers of the goods which America produces. In fact, in 1948 alone, the railroads spent more than $3 billion for the 100,000 different items they need in order to keep running. For instance, the railroads last year spent more than $833 million for fuel, $747 million for iron and steel products, and another $166 million for cross ties, lumber, and other forest products. And for new freight and passenger cars and new locomotives, they invested more than $900 million, all for better service for you. These tremendous purchases were not made in one city or in one part of the country, but were made in more than 12,000 cities and towns located in all sections of the United States. Such railroad purchases stimulate business everywhere. They affect mines, forests, factories, farms. They provide employment for hundreds of thousands of men and women outside the railroad industry. Yes, when railroads can afford to buy in normal volume, business is good and employment is up. And whether railroads can afford to do this depends on earnings, which provide the money for them to spend. That's why it's good business for America, good business for all of us, to keep our railroads healthy. And now we continue the Railroad Hour's tribute to 20th Century Fox's great team, Mack Gordon and Joseph Miro.
After Joseph Miro's spectacular debut with Three Little Girls in Blue, 20th Century Fox signed him to a term deal. And he and Mack Gordon started to work on another score. This time it was the musical version of Burlesque, called When My Baby Smiles at Me. They were working on the songs for this score when the musicians' ban against the recording companies was called. It was to go into effect at midnight, New Year's Eve. And since recordings are part of the lifeblood of any song, everyone connected with the business was trying to get every song possible recorded before the deadline. The week before New Year's, the head of Victor Records' popular music department, Eli Oberstein, was on the Fox lot. And Joe Miro played a song that he and Mack Gordon were working on.
Ah,
Boys, I think that's a great tune. What are you calling it?
Well, Eli, we're calling it by the way, but don't ask for the rest of the words because I haven't got them yet.
Well, how about getting a record made of it before the band?
Well, there's nothing I'd like better if I had a lyric.
Couldn't you knock one out in a hurry?
Where do you want to cut this record, Mr. Oberstein?
New York?
Well, there wouldn't be time to get arrangements written of the song.
Well, there's time if you get on the phone and dictate the music bar by bar.
Well, it's up to Mac.
What do you say, Mac?
Well, I'd certainly like to have the record. Okay, I'll try.
These are the moments that can really scare you. Mack Gordon stared at blank pieces of paper. He chewed pencils. He walked the floor. Nothing happened. The hands of the clock slid by the hours and then the days, but the words just wouldn't come. And finally, it was the last morning, and he had sat in his studio office all night, with Joe sitting anxiously beside him.
Ah, Joe, it's no use. I'm sorry you went all the trouble to dictate the music by telephone. I just can't get a lyric for it. I'm going home to get some sleep. You phone Eli and call off the deal, will you?
Okay, whatever you say.
Mac went home and got wearily into bed. He was almost asleep when the phone rang.
Hello.
Mac, Oberstein says you just got to get a lyric. He says it had an orchestra standing by since yesterday.
Okay, I'll come down to the office, but I'm afraid I'm not going to lick this one, Joe. I'm afraid I'm not going to lick this one.
Mack Gordon went back to his office and stared at the blank paper. He stared at blank walls and out the window at a blank sky. He sat there all afternoon, and at 5 o'clock, suddenly words began to fit themselves to the music, and he wrote them down. By 5:30, Eli Oberstein had them in New York, and long before midnight, the song was recorded. And, as I'm certain you recall, it went like this. By the way, wasn't that a dream last night? Seems I barely closed my eyes, and you were there. By the way, and to my complete surprise, you and I were dancing on a cloud somewhere. I held you in my arms. The joy of it was thrilling. And then I pleaded for a kiss, and you were willing. And so we kissed. Then I heard you say you cared. By the way, do say it now, as you did then. Or must I wait until I dream again? You heard the music of Gordon and Myro in When My Baby Smiles at Me. You heard it in Beautiful Blonde from Bashful Bend. And you heard it in Mother Wore Tights.
Wish I were back again with all the sweet and simple folks I call my kin in Kokomo, Indiana. Well, if it isn't Pop and hiya, Mom, you always had the cutest grin in Kokomo, Indiana. Just look at Rover, wag his tail. Gosh, he remembers me. And get a load of Sister Grace. You can't see the freckles for the jam on her face. How would you like to go and see that old bashful beau you used to know in Kokomo, Indiana? Wouldn't you just as soon go out and spoon beneath the Hoosier moon? Oh, what a moon! For For all of the many reasons that I mentioned heretofore, my heart will always be in Kokomo. And of course, you know, the town of Kokomo will always be indefinitely in Indiana.
Yes, you heard it in Mother Wore Tights, applauded it, requested it, remembered it, and sang it yourself. And one particular love song you made the number one hit of the country. It was your favorite love song of the year. Remember? Who knows how much I love you? You do. No one means more to me than you do. You take December and smile it into May, and then December comes back again when you're away. Who has a charm that very few do? Who makes life necessary? You do. And who can take my dreams and make my dreams come true? Don't give me three guesses. One will do. Who has a charm that very few do? And so, for songs that have added so much to the musical enjoyment of our nation, the Railroad Hour salutes Mack Gordon and Joseph Myro. And who can take my dreams and make my dreams come true? Don't give me three guesses. One will do. As lasting evidence of tonight's tribute, the Railroad Hour is presenting a parchment scroll to Mr. Mack Gordon and a scroll to Mr. Joseph Myro, signed by William T. Pharisee, President of the Association of American Railroads. And here to accept the scrolls are Mack Gordon and Joseph Myro.
Thank you very much, Gordon. The tribute is gratifying. The scroll is beautiful. And your singing, well, just wonderful.
Mack has said it so beautifully that there's nothing I can add. That's what usually happens to a composer around a lyric writer.
Well, thank you very much, Mack and Joe. Say, Mack, I know that you sing quite a song yourself. I just saw you and heard you sing, and you're my everything. And I wondered if you would favor us this evening with a few notes.
Well, Gordy, I had been hoping you'd ask me.
You're breaking my heart.
Yeah. I'd like to sing our newest song, It Happens Every Spring.
Wonderful.
Joe, if you could lend a little assist out at left field at the Steinway. Love it.
I'll be glad to.
It happens every spring. The world is young again. We're children on an ups-a-daisy swing. A carousel with horses freshly painted. the papa that says, let's get acquainted. What is that cheer I heard? The fella stealing third. Your neighbor's boy became a home run king. Your dad rolls up his sleeves to clean the attic. Your 16-year-old sister goes dramatic. It happens, yes, it happens every spring. The tears that go with sulfur and molasses, the outstretched nickels when an ice cream wagon passes. A rippling stream sounds like a rippling harp as Mother Nature proudly spreads her new green carpet. Be patient, lonely one, your love will come along. Your autumn heart will find a song to sing. Then raindrops will be dancing to the tune of it. The carefree, gay, and April, May, and June of it. And remember, it never rains but what it pours. And maybe raindrops will be whispering, this spring is yours.
Oh, that's wonderful, Mack. Wonderful. And we'd like to say many, many thanks to you and Joseph Myro for being with us tonight.
Have I something to say here?
And you're supposed to say thank you, Gordon, and good night.
Oh, am I supposed to say that? Well, let me try it. Thank you, Gordon, and good night.
Okay.
Good night, Gordon.
Take back your samba, aye, your rumba, aye, your conga, aye, aye, aye. Why can't you send us aye, let's friend you are, this number, aye, aye, aye. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week, the Railroad Hour pays tribute to that wonderful musical show, Call Me Mister, and to its brilliant young composer and lyricist, Harold Rome. You will hear the story of how the show came to be written, and we'll sing you its wonderful score, among them the one titled, here it is, South America, take it away. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. The Railroad Summer Hour is written by Gene Holloway and is brought to you each week at this time by the American Railroads. These railroads are your hometown partners. They are an essential, dependable, working part of the life of thousands of cities and towns all over America. Railroads employ local people and often buy supplies locally. They own local property and pay local taxes on it. They are responsible citizens and good neighbors in your own hometown.
All aboard!
Well, it looks as though we're ready to pull out. And so until next week, goodbye.
Gordon MacRae is now being seen in the Warner Brothers Technicolor production, Look for the Silver Lining. And now for Lucille Norman, the sportsman, John Rarick and his orchestra, and your host, Gordon MacRae, a hearty invitation to meet us again next week at this same place on your dial. We'll have more songs and a tribute to Harold Rome. This is Marvin Miller speaking.
Broadcasting Company.